Yeah, thanks for inviting me here. This is, I really, when I read what this was all about, I immediately resonated with it because, I mean, right now there's a lot of issues. Environment, health, a lot going on. And I mean, health, you know, that word's thrown around a lot. But what health actually means is actually a very low standard. It just means absence of disease. And you know, when I think of health, I think of more than just not being sick. So, you know, finding foods and products as well that can help you actually be healthier, and not just not have disease, but actually feel good and perform well, as Amy was talking about before. Just feeling good and being able to think more clearly and boosting athletic performance and not being dependent on stimulants, caffeine, and sugar, and not needing to sleep a lot as well. You know, people who are healthier can get by with less sleep, and you've all heard, you know, you need 8 hours of sleep a day. Well, it really depends on quality. Like if you can actually, if you eat well and you know what products are healthy and good, you can actually lower cortisol, which is a stress hormone that means you're going to be able to get into a deep phase of sleep called delta. And that means you can get by with, you know, 6 hours of sleep a night and feel great. And that's a huge advantage, you know, especially to young moms as well, who, you know, probably don't get a lot of sleep time. If they can get sleep quality, it's going to be more important. So these little things like this I've found kind of along the way that really do make a difference in your life and impact how you live and how you feel. And then of course, if you're sleeping more deeply, you're not as tired, so you're less dependent on caffeine and sugar, and then, you know, you're treating energy holistically. It's not, you know, stimulation type thing. So the holistic nature I really appreciate of what healthy foods are. But if you don't know what is healthy and what ingredients are good and what ingredients are bad, then what do you buy? What do you do? And do you have to research all of this yourself? And you know, most of us don't have time or inclination to do that. So having a program like this in place, I think, is just so valuable. And also, even from a, you know, a non-personal standpoint, but more of a holistic standpoint. And obviously, when we buy something, we're voting for not just the product, but for how it was produced and all the things that went into it. And we wouldn't vote for a politician if we didn't know his or her policy on environment, on health, and things that are important to us. But we're effectively voting for a politician we don't know the backstory of. When we buy something, we don't know how it was produced and who was affected, both good or bad. So I think having that transparency is just so important. And again, what I really appreciate about this is that it's not saying do this, don't do that. It's not trying to tell you what to do and what not to do. It's just saying here's more transparency. Make a decision, informed decision. You know the facts now. Now you can make a decision based on your values, and you have the transparency to support that. So I think that's great, and I'm a big supporter, new supporter. I'm just sort of learning about this now. But when I read through the website and acquainted myself with what this was all about, I became a big fan for sure. For those reasons, I just think it makes so much sense too. And then obviously environmental reasons, tying that in as well. Recently, well, I guess it's been out for about a year now, but I wrote a book that's called Thrive Foods. In the first third of the book, I look at the amount of natural resources used to produce food, so land, water, fossil fuel, and the amount of CO2 equivalent emissions. And I compare that to the amount of nutrients we get, so vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals. So obviously what you want to do is spend the least amount of each natural resource to get the most amount of nutrition. And I think just even kind of knowing things like that can make a big difference. You know, not all calories are equal, and not all food is equal, because different environmental resources went into its production. So when you have that transparency, you can put it together in a simple ratio or, you know, an approval system. It just makes things so much easier, and it will make us more informed, obviously, and make us vote for the things we care about, so that more of those are produced, and the ones that are not being efficiently produced are going to go away, because people are going to obviously stop buying them. So it will make a change socially too. So thanks very much for doing it, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Thank you.